this is a Shoreside Rampage walkthrough. So we're going to do all 7 rampages in one run. We're starting out at the Shoreside hideout and running down that road going down toward the picnic area. Now on the left there's a roof. You got to jump over here at this point. You land on the roof and grab the rampage. It's a shotgun rampage, and you got to kill 20 hoods. All right, it's not actually a very difficult rampage. See that overpass to the left? Whatever you do, resist the temptation to go under it. You'll get killed so fast because you'll have 20 hoods falling from the upper road onto you, and there's no. I mean, it's a real challenge, but you know, I'm trying to stay behind here because it's giving me a little tiny bit of cover at least. All right, and also notice how I'm aiming. I'm hitting the R1 button before my camera turns and faces. As soon as I see bullets shooting at me, I kind of take it at faith. Watch, you'll see me do it again. I'm doing it again. See, you notice I was aiming before the camera turned around because I saw bullets coming that way. So, you know, even if you can't see the target, if your character is facing that way and the camera hasn't followed you yet, you can still get the, you'll get the target. So you notice I'm pretty much blasting right through this. I've lost a little bit of armor, but big deal. I'm still at 100. Oh, and I also recommend to start your rampages, always have 125 health. Boom, and I finished it with plenty of time, plenty of health, plenty of, full health and my armor. Okay, that's rampage number 1. I don't know which order the guide goes in, but I'm gonna do them in my own order, starting with the ones near the hideout. Now, I'm not even going to bother going to get my armor. I'm basically going into the picnic area where the tables are. There's a package and the grip mission, and I'm going to make a U-turn to go up onto this upper embankment here. I want to show you something. The rampage is actually right. See that post to the left? It's actually right there, but I'm going to go past it so that you'll know I went too far. Okay, see, now I went too far, so I'm going to have to go backward, which is good. And as you can see in the rear view, there's the rampage. I always come up here with a car because it's easier. You grab the rampage and then you drive off. So I'm going to drive off and go right to the left where the adrenaline is. Okay? Unfortunately, I couldn't keep my car upright, but oh well. Sometimes it's good to use as extra cover. Alright, now this rampage is particularly difficult, not because it's difficult, but because the game makes it very hard. You'll see the frustrating trouble I have. You gotta, first of all, you've gotta blow only heads. Okay, you've gotta pop heads. You can't just kill them. You shoot them in the arm, as I just did there, it doesn't count. Now, what makes this harder than it needs to be is because it's very difficult to get the reticule to just go small spaces. See, you notice how it wants to jump across the screen sometimes. See how it's jumping? It's very difficult to get it to move just a hair. But I took the adrenaline pill, so that's slowing down time a lot, making this a lot easier. Also, another tip with any of these M16 Rampages is don't shoot a lot. Just do a tiny little burst because one shot. These are one-shot kills with this weapon. So it's, see that? See how I'm not holding. I got the arm there. See how I'm not holding down on the fire button for very long? Just ever so slightly tap it, and you'll see that it's hard to sometimes get the. It's difficult sometimes to get the reticule to go onto the head, no matter how good your aim is, because it kind of wants to jump across the screen sometimes. I haven't figured out a way to just get it to move as slightly as I want it to. But I mean, we only got 4 left. We got to do 20 in 2 minutes, and we've got over a minute. We just need 3 now. See how it's like jumping back and forth instead of going where I want it to go. I'm trying to coax it there, but sometimes it just doesn't. It doesn't move a hair. It jumps across the screen. All right, we've got over a minute left, and we only need 2. So, but the adrenaline just wore off. Always started here because the adrenaline pill gives you a really big leg up. Alright, that's it. Alright, so that's rampage number 2, and again, I don't know what order the guide is going at. I'm just doing it based upon how close they are to the hideout. Alright, so now we're gonna run up. I'm gonna grab a car. I'll probably grab this manana. And And we'll go back up to the hideout, and for this I want to get my, I want to fill up my armor, because the next rampage we're going to do is the one in Cedar Grove, Flamethrower Rampage, which is very... you lose health and armor really fast, because the flamethrower is a kind of unwieldy weapon in this game. So I'm just going to grab the armor, I'm not even going to bother with it. Well, I guess I will get all the weapons. Okay, so now we're going to go up the S-shaped road. We're going to go up north, the S-shaped road to Cedar Grove. And you'll notice you'll notice in this rampage I'm going to lose a lot of armor and a lot of health, but I'm not going to be ridiculously careful either. Especially because you always run into time constraints with this, because the game doesn't always give you as many cartel gang members as you would like it to. Alright, so we're going to make a right at the top of this road by Cedar Grove, and it's the second house. We're going to go into the yard with the Landstalker in it, and it's behind, the Rampage is behind the garage that's behind the Landstalker. Okay? Now another thing that makes this annoying is, as you'll see, there just aren't that many Colombians, and you don't really want to run out into the middle of the street unless you have to, because then they're just right up your ass. So I'm trying to use the, I see I got a couple there, and this is a medium to long distance range weapon. You notice they're just cutting right through my armor already. Whoops. And the camera kind of is annoying in this too. You'll notice that I was trying to shoot at them and I ended up shooting at my car. Also, another thing, you notice I'm running away from the Colombian before shooting him and taking some fire. Why? Because if you shoot anybody up close, you'll catch on fire. So it's better to run away and then shoot. Alright, so... there they go, the car blew up. And now I'm just clearing a path here. And don't ask me why I shot at nothing there, but okay. Actually, I'm trying to get this guy here, but this is a glitch. I can't kill this guy, and I've even tried going right up to him, and he doesn't die. Unfortunately, that ate a lot of my time, and I didn't realize that was going to happen. So now, I'm so short on time, I'm going to take a lot of damage on purpose by going out to the middle of the street and just going circularly like this. Now I'm already down. My armor is completely cut down, and my health is starting to get... but I'll still pass it. I only need 4. And I've got about 26. So now I'll go in here and just try to use some cover here. When he's dead. And you notice how I'm not shooting anybody very close up to me so that I don't so that I don't catch on fire. I'm backing up a step. That guy's still glitching there, believe it or not. Okay, now my time is starting to count down, but there you go. This is probably one of the hardest rampages on Shoreside, probably one of the hardest in the game, simply because of the nature of the physics of the flamethrower. It puts you into a position, and the amount of Colombians that spawn. You really have to, at some point, go out into the middle of the street in order to pass it, but once you do, you're vulnerable. As you can see, I lost a full 100% of my armor and 52% of my health. So, you know, that gives you an idea of how this is a difficult rampage. So anyway, we're going to go back to the hideout now, and I'm going to get more armor, and I'm going to use the hookah trick to get up to 125% health. Alright, so let's grab some weapons, get my armor. Not that I need the weapons for the rampage, but I'm also going to get the health. Another thing you got to remember, if you're going to use the hookah trick to get to 125, make sure you already have 100% health. Anyway, I'm not going to show you. I edited out the part where I got the health from the hookah. Why? Because you already know how to do that, I'm sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the next rampages by the airport. Now I'm going to try to keep this police car in as good of a condition as possible because it's going to get shot up like crazy. And another thing to remember is the police car is probably one of the most durable vehicles in the game. And it handles pretty well, relatively well anyway. So we're going to head into the tunnel. That's the quickest way to get to the airport. And again, I'm driving fairly slow just to keep the car in as good health as possible. I'll lose a little bit here, but, you know, big deal. I'm actually not here yet. I'll lose it when I get closer to the Rampage. As you can see, I'm trying to keep it in as pristine conditions. Now you want to go up onto this grass here by the over the tunnel. That's where I lost some health there. And oops, and there's the Rampage right there. And that's a vehicle you got to run over Colombians. Okay, so now one trick to this Rampage you got to remember is you're gonna want to stop and back up, and don't do it. You want to drive as fast as you can, because if you're moving faster, you'll be a moving target, as opposed to stopping and going back for ones you missed. Or you notice I'm not trying to get too many at one shot. I'm ignoring, and the reason I'm doing that is because your car will blow up real fast if you don't present yourself as a moving target. I only need 10 now, and again, I'm constantly on the move. I failed this mission so many times in the beginning because I didn't do what I'm doing now. I just tried to stop and back up, and boom, it's a lot easier when you do it. And I still got my car shot up, but I passed the Rampage. I'm going to grab this Sentinel. And now there's a mission right to my left here, but I'm going to skip that. It's right to the left. I'm actually going to skip that Rampage because I want to do there's two harder ones first. I want to do them. So we're going to go all the way up north into Pike Creek. And the Rampage is right by a unique jump. A unique jump ramp. Alright, so we're going to go left into here, right through the police bribe, but we don't need it. Now there's a unique jump, and there's also a unique jump. There's two in this yard, but we're going to leave the car here, and we're not going to get the unique jump. In fact, we're going to go over that ramp slowly, but just fast enough to land in the second yard. Okay, so boom. I just went fast enough not to trigger the slow motion, but just to land. I'm not even going to bother getting that. Now notice I went into that ramp very slowly, so I didn't turn my car over. And I'm going into this yard. There's an adrenaline pill here, and this one you have to pop heads also. You got to get 15 Colombian heads. The body doesn't count, even if you kill them. So now you notice how that it was just jumping. You see how it's just jumping back and forth? It's very hard to get it centered sometimes. It's just very frustrating. As you can see, I'm having a lot of trouble getting the thing to move just a hair. Now I'm going to grab the adrenaline pill. I got 5, it looks like. I got 5 heads already. And now this will give me plenty of time to complete the Rampage as they're moving. Now the one trouble with the adrenaline pill is you got to wait for it to reload between every shot. See, I'm pressing the button here, not realizing that it's reloading. There you go. So, I missed his head, I don't know how. It looked like a hit to me. And I'm waiting. You gotta wait for it to reload. There, it reloaded now, and boom. Now you notice that the wall to my left, you can't see it in the sniper rifle, is giving me some cover. Still under the influence of adrenaline, and I just need, looks like 3 more. Like this guy. 2 more I need. Now look at, that's as zoomed in as I could get, but I still got the head, luckily enough. And I still got 41 seconds to get one guy. And I'll get him because he's closer. Boom, and that's it. Now the next one we're going to go to is, it's called Wichita Gardens, but it's really Pike Creek or Francis International. So we're going to go east, and then we're going to make a right to go south, and then a left here by the fish factory. Alright, and the Rampage is on. I'm going to leave my car here, so I'll have it. If this is a rocket launcher vehicle, you gotta explode vehicles with the rocket launcher. And I left my vehicle there, so I'll have at least one to start off with. You're going to go up this staircase, and there's usually a package to the right, but I already got it. And you're gonna grab this Rampage, and again you gotta blow up vehicles with a rocket launcher. You gotta do 15. What makes this very hard, what makes this extremely difficult, is not that it's difficult, but sometimes the game cheats you and doesn't give you enough vehicles to destroy. So you want to try to get a wanted level so that the cops will come after you and they'll keep sending vehicles. You're relatively safe up on the roof, but you notice how I'm getting all those. That's the road going down to the dam, and I'm getting all those vehicles. So I've got 10. I got 5 rather, and I got 10 left. So now we'll get the vehicle I parked there. Get there. Alright, I got 2 stars now, so the cops will be coming after me, which is good. Alright, and again, what makes this frustrating is sometimes the lack of the amount of cars. Now also, another thing that makes this frustrating is the rocket launcher apparently has a range. Notice how I'm shooting that car at the corner, and I'm getting it direct hits, but the range of the rocket launcher is not... I guess the vehicles are out of the range of the rocket launcher, which is kind of weird, but... Now at this point I'm pretty much counting on the cops. Alright. Oh, and I'm going to show you something too. Helicopters do not count toward your total. You notice that my number needed still stayed at 4. It is a vehicle, but for some reason in this Rampage it doesn't count. Okay, we got 4 stars now. Beautiful. We only need 1 Rampage. This is one where I would totally understand using the cheat. We're down to 25 seconds with 1 needed. I've done this Rampage and just simply not gotten enough cars given to me by the game. If you find that happening, sometimes getting out of targeting mode, out of first-person mode, running across the roof, and then running back again will sometimes make cars spawn. Okay, so now we're going to the 7th and final Rampage on Shoreside, and that's the one we skipped when we were coming from the airport. Now, I left that because it's basically the easiest Rampage. It's the one where you gotta use the Uzi to do drive-bys and explode 7 vehicles. I actually don't ever do it because I find it annoying to have to chase down vehicles. I'm going to show you a trick that I discovered to do this particular Rampage. This is again the last one on Shoreside that I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to leave this car parked in the middle of the street, and I'm going to steal a few vehicles and leave them parked. Now, as long as you don't go too far, the game won't steal the vehicles from you. Alright, so this guy's trying to steal his vehicle back, so I'm going to run him down. And I'm going to leave 3 or 4 vehicles parked in the middle of the street because it'll do 2 things. It'll block up traffic, and I'm doing this before I even take the Rampage. But the Rampage is so close, you don't have to worry about the vehicles disappearing. Alright, as long as you stay relatively close, all your vehicles should remain where you leave them. Okay? And I shot this guy because he was trying to steal his vehicle back, but... And it's not the worst thing in the world to get a wanted level. In fact, I'm going to take the Rampage and shoot the cops to get 2 stars. Why? Because that'll give me extra vehicles to shoot. Okay, so I'm grabbing the Rampage. Now I'm going to just target the cops. Screw it, I'll get my 2 stars. Right there, target it, killed the cop. Now I'll start shooting vehicles. Now the game wants you to do it with drive-bys, but I don't like to do it when told, so I'm just going to basically... The big problem, by the way, is cars running you over and aiming. You can't target a vehicle in this game, so you have to sort of face it. Now this will get me 3 or 4, a good 3 vehicles to start off, and you only need 7, so... There's 1, 2, 3, I got 4 vehicles, and all the vehicles that I left parked there basically exploded. Now I got the cop car, that'll go in a second, boom. Now I'll get out of there so that I can... I'm not really too worried about getting shot here by their guns, because why? I've got 65 armor, and this is pretty easy. Okay, that's 2 I need. Now I just need 1 more vehicle after this, and I'll steal this I was gonna steal this and blow it up right away, but now if you look, you'll see there are like 3 or 4 cops trying to jump in and pull me out in a second. Show you right here. There we go. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. They're just all over me. So I'm gonna pull a safe distance away, and then I got plenty of time too. I've got 35 seconds to destroy 1 vehicle. So that was easy enough. It was also taking damage while I was driving around, which is not the worst thing. All right, so those are the Shoreside Rampages.